Hi, my name is Rick White, and I want to talk to you about some of the things that are being talked about as far as mining Bitcoin or proof of work mining. Um, One of the things that is being said is that one of our challenges is that proof of work mining uses so much electricity that it will, in fact, affect global warming. I think that there's three things that we have to take into consideration that could be a real part of this conversation. The first is what kind of energy is being used? In some cases, it is renewable energy, it's hydroelectric energy, it's energy that's not necessarily being used, that's not necessarily contributing to global warming. Now, fossil fuels and coal-fired plants, that kind of related activity, that definitely would affect global warming. What are some of the things that we could do to understand and know what kind of electricity is being used? Well, I think that the first thing is, can we trace it? And I think that, Bitcoin um, is a blockchain activity, which means that information that's on the blockchain is immutable. So we could conceivably trace where exactly what types of electricity were being used for different coins that were mined. So if we knew that these coins were being generated and we knew that they were using let's call it dirty electricity, right? Ones that were using fossil fuels and coal-fired plants, then that could be coins that we kind of shun, coins that we don't use. So one is, kind of the social activity of not participating in coins that were kind of generated that way. But ones that are using renewable energy, ones that are using hydroelectric energy, we can deal with that, right? I mean, let's be straight. So the third thing, and I think that this one is could be way more important, is how can we make energy less wasteful? So a lot of the energy that exists right now on our grid um, is a consumable, meaning in real time, whatever there is as far as electricity that's being produced, it has to be consumed. It can't just exist and live in the wires. We know that. So we do a thing called curtailment. And here's an example of what curtailment is. So you have a supply of wind, and wind kind of can come up and go down, and can be random, and you get these kind of weird spikes just depending upon how the wind comes. Um, and you'll see these are kind of the available loads. So stable load would be gas-fired, nuclear, and hydroelectric. That's stable. It's always going to be the same amount of electricity coming onto the grid. You have solar electricity, and that in the middle of the day, it's going to go up the amount of electricity that's going to be produced, and then it'll go down at night. And then geothermal would be kind of the opposite. In the middle of the day, it would go down, and at night it would go up. And so if you have a giant load, if you have a lot of solar on your network and you don't have enough consumers that are consuming it, then you have to shut it off at different times. It's the same with wind or anything else. So the curtailment happens at the power company, and the company will actually pay money to shut down these plants so that they're not putting a load onto the network that's going to not be consumed. So in 2015, of renewable energy, there was approximately 187,000 megawatts that needed to be curtailed. In 2016, it was 308,000. And the majority of it, of that 308, was 305,000 megawatts that were being economically curtailed. So they were paying to have this curtailment happen. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that there was a lot of energy that they paid them to come off the grid. It may have still, you can't, smash the solar cells. There's still being energy produced, but it doesn't come onto the grid. So as you can imagine, what if, and here we go, what if we had an idea where we took micro data centers, so these are just like these little ant boxes like Bitmain makes, we make some version of them, and we put cryptocurrency mining, let's say Bitcoin miners in there, and we put them directly next to the power plants. And we do what's called computational curtailment. So this curtailment process gives us an even load, but instead of us paying for it, we actually generate cryptocurrency. And then that money is put back either into our pockets or to manage the network more efficiently or to invest in more renewable resources. But now you've got a system that actually feeds back on itself, and you can use it not for just profit, but for building a better, more sustainable world, right? And, you know, and it's not only done, the curtailment wouldn't necessarily only be done with cryptocurrency, but imagine computation like AI, which is going to be more and more necessary as we go. That's going to require electricity too. But if we built this computational curtailment, then we'd have some answers. So my idea isn't that, you know, that we have to just say, okay, well, forget about it. Cryptocurrency is too expensive. Or even that we should move to proof of stake or proof of network or proof of identity or whatever as a foundation for validation. We can use proof of work. We just have to make it work for us and help us to build the sustainable future that we all want to build. Hi, if you like this video and some of the ideas in it, please hit that like button or become a subscriber. We've got a lot of big, crazy ideas that we think will help the world, and we can't wait to work with you to make them real.